Hey everyone, welcome to EffemFM, the first episode of EffemFM. Your clear fix in a world where people are shouting at each other. I'm
Oh,
Paul.
I'm Clinton.
And I'm Leo.
Okay, so hi girls. Long,
Hi.
Uh,
long overdue pilot. Okay, next time na lang yung background why we got delayed, pero it was because of me, guys. Um, so first things first, Trump lost. So yay.
Yay,
Sobrang
yay
happy.
for
I
that.
know. I
ano?
know.
Trump
Trump lost.
lost.
Trump last. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
how
mean,
was your week?
it's another white man, but at least,
Yeah.
at least, 'di ba?
At least.
Mas may
Correct,
pag-asa.
correct, correct. Yeah. We'll
Ah,
take the win, kumbaga.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so just to give you an idea of my week, I was monitoring tweets regarding the election. Tapos sobrang kasi 'di ba they count fast. So parang kala
Mhm.
ko at the very least we'll have the results parang at one day after election night. Pero apparently not. But it was worth the wait. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, um, Georgia,
Georgia. Yeah.
Wisconsin. Uh, thank
Nevada.
you. Thank you, black people, black women.
Yeah. Oh my
Um,
God. Thank you.
mhm. And in between election monitoring,
May
on our
nag-emerge.
may nag-emerge,
Yeah.
may nag-emerge to put it mildly, on our side of the fence, um,
Yeah.
may nag-emerge, and it's the conversation regarding the SOGIE Bill or the
Yeah,
Special
because I think
Orientation.
it's the second hearing ng ADB, tama?
Yup, in the House of Representatives, and
Yeah.
it was actually queued with so many other bills because it was um, reading and then interpellation. No, so interpellation is when the legislators argue the merits of the bill, parang pros, cons, basically for against.
Yeah.
Well, it's a relatively simplistic way of looking at it. Sorry, pero yun yung
Mhm.
Yeah.
no, I guess no, basically yun na yun, no.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and then and then outside the halls of Congress,
Meron
Twitter
ding
erupted.
interpellation.
Merong interpellation exactly on social media.
Yeah.
So um, we're not going
Which,
to pull tweets.
yeah.
We're not going to quote anyone. I just want to dive right ahead. What are your thoughts?
And frankly speaking, it's actually still ongoing. By the time now we're recording,
Mm-hmm.
the hashtag is still trending. It's still ongoing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very important na
We talk
napapag-usapan
about
natin.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So na-process nyo na ba? So many people are still number one against it, and number two apparently so confused about it.
Ako honestly, um on the first day, like on the day of the hearing, 'di ba, that's when the tweets emerged. Hindi pa
Mm-hmm.
nag-emerge yung no to SOGIE bill eh. Parang may mga anti-SOGIE bill lang talaga na tweets. Like not
Na
using the
ilan-ilan.
hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
Oo.
Yeah.
So I kind of read through those and parang nabasa ko. Honestly, hindi ako nagulat at hindi ako
Mm-hmm.
nasaktan. But that's
Mm-hmm.
just me. And it's because we've lived through that
Mhm.
ng hindi social media na sinabi na sa
Mm-hmm.
atin yun in our faces, 'di ba?
Yeah. Super
Parang when
agree.
you yeah, when you read through the tweets, parang okay, sanay na ako sa mga ganyan. Alam mo yun?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
parang sinisigaw na yan sa mukha mo, like people say that um ng pabulong or like nagpaparinig
Mm-hmm.
sa sa public places. So like I like I was not hurt na cause like medyo nasanay na tayo sa ganun. But then when I like a few days after when I saw the hashtag, um I think that's when I was worried a little kasi so people who are actually still confused or still questioning, or the younger ones na who are still in high school or who are still in college, yung mga gano'n na parang ang sakit na nababasa din nila to.
Mm.
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 Na parang sinisigaw na nga yun sa mukha mo, and 'di ba like imagine us dati na parang hindi pa tayo masyadong strong. I'm not saying na strong na tayo ngayon, but like hindi pa tayo matatag, 'di ba? Parang
Mm.
gano'n.
Mm.
Parang mabilis ka pa mag-falter. So parang imagine sa mga ganong people, sa younger ones na nababasa yung ganon, na parang ang lungkot. And
Mm.
then I saw a thread. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this thread sa Twitter because I'm not gonna quote na, but a lot of people have been quoting this thread. But it's a guy na may mga arguments siya na sinasabi doon na parang it's basically confusion. Like hindi niya alam what the bill is talking about, but ang dami
Mm.
niyang opinions about the bill.
Yeah.
Na parang,
That's
oh,
that's a very particular side of social media in a nutshell, no?
yeah, diba?
Parang these headlines and tweet a thread about it.
Yeah, and doon ako nainis kasi parang, doon ako, parang sobrang na-tick ako because ginagamit nila yung because yeah, intellectual argument naman talaga siya. But like,
Mm.
kung gusto mo talagang maging part ng isang intellectual discussion, at least read the bill.
Correct, correct.
Parang nagsuspew ka na lang ng hate eh. And kung nagsuspew
Mm.
ka ng hate, parang at least make it factual or be creative.
Mm.
Kasi creative people tong mga inaaway mo.
Correct.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Basically, parang hatred under the veil of kunwari logic, ganun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without the
Yeah.
facts.
So would you
Mm.
say it's even intellectual when it's just spreading misinformation? Like,
Actually,
how could you
yeah.
say it's
Actually,
intellectual? It's not.
actually, it's really not. Kaya parang
Mm.
Yeah.
ganun. And you see a lot of Bible verses actually.
Mm.
which is which
Yeah.
is which is funny. I don't know. Wala
Yeah.
lang. No, I mean like the Bible is not funny. I'm saying na it's funny kasi biglang lumalabas talaga sila. Sobrang strong talaga nila sa ganitong issue.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, I agree, diba? Na parang magugulat ka pa ba considering we have lived through this, and
Yeah.
ako for one, yeah, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, parang I already know what they're going to say, and
Yeah.
Mm.
yung sa akin is like once you've heard one, you've heard them all. It's all the same
Mm.
argument na parang they've been
Mm.
using for years now, and we've been hearing for years now. So like,
Yeah.
diba?
For
Parang
years.
for me, I don't want to
Mm.
hear it anymore. Ako just for me, I don't want to hear it anymore. Maybe it's the generational trauma, but I don't want to hear it
Mm.
anymore. Kasi
Yeah.
like what for? I've already heard
Mm.
this. I've already lived through this. So why would I
Mm.
want to, partake in these discussions where,
Relive.
relive, you know, these kinds of discrimination and
Yeah, it's
words that
basically
are hurtful.
back to high school.
I know.
It's basically going back to high school, tama.
Yeah.
Mm.
Diba?
Mm.
So parang for me, I would rather, you know, partake in more progressive discussions like how do we help push this bill forward, for example, as people who are not legislators. Diba? Parang what can we do?
Mm.
Diba?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That choose your battles,
Yeah.
ika nga.
Yeah, and also it's good din na parang, yeah, we know that there's a lot of misinformation going around. So parang it's important then for us to spread, the right information, the correct
Mm.
information.
Yeah. But I think that's how the like 'di ba parang yung tinanong mo kanina is how can we say na it's intellectual when it's guided by misinformation? I think a very huge chunk of that is even the legislators or even the ones who are there sa hearings are not
Propagating.
Mm.
yeah, parang ganun din. So parang when 'di ba when you hear can we name names ng politicians or
Yeah, why not?
Up to you.
okay, basta yon. When we hear like Brother Eddie's remarks and stuff, syempre if you're someone who has the same thoughts and you hear the politicians in the hearing saying your thoughts, parang
Mm.
feeling mo, okay, so sobrang validated. Tama nga yung inisip ko about
Validated ka.
it.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oo, parang
Yeah.
Yeah.
isipin mo, kahit hindi mo binasa yung bill, pero yun din yung sinabi ni Brother Eddie or ni kung sino man dyan, parang feeling mo na, okay, so yun nga, tama nga. What I assumed is right. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Even yung mga sinasabi ng mga nandon, ng mga nag-against, ay hindi binasa din properly yung bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But then we also
Because
have to
they have
remember, diba, na
so
parang, like, is politics even objective?
it's
Actually.
Diba?
not.
It's
Mm-mm.
not. Kaya parang,
It's you
you
know.
know, brother Eddie can say these things, these subjective things, without even actually having to read the bill. He has the power to, kumbaga, help stop that
Yeah.
bill
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
just
Mm-mm.
by
Just
saying
very
his
do.
thoughts. Kasi he was
Yeah.
elected.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but like I think yun yung huge thing talaga for me na nakakainis kasi nababack up ng ganong argument
Mm.
because sinasabi mismo ng mga supposedly nagbasa ng bill. And I think iko-connect ko lang din with current events sa US na I think that's why we're so happy also with Trump's loss and Biden's win because ganun din naman 'di ba?
In that
Parang
order.
oo, ganun din yung nangyayari.
Mm-mm.
Na parang nababack up ng racists yung remarks nila, yung thoughts nila with
Yes.
Trump's
Uh,
remarks. Yeah.
that's actually a good parallel. Parang nasustoke yung kumbaga worst instincts nila or not stoke parang na-enable and they have
Mhm.
someone na parang who has that, for better or for worse, that level of clout and that use of platform for their, well, for their bigotry. So, that makes sense. Parang they rely on people agreeing with them, they rely on confirmation bias, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Mm-hmm.
And we
very
also
true.
have to remember that these are elected officials,
Yun na.
diba?
Exactly.
Which is again like why it's good na parang a lot of LGBTQ plus people who ran this election in the US are actually won, diba?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
parang it for me it kind of goes to show the power of democracy, I guess, or the power
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
people in
yeah. Mm.
electing. Kasi, for example, the fact that Brother Eddie was elected, diba, shows
Mhm.
that there are a lot of people who believe in him, who agree with him, and
Mm.
you know other people who may be more, I don't know, appropriate, other candidates who may be more appropriate for the Congress,
Mm.
were not elected because people didn't elect them. Diba?
Mhm.
So I
Mm.
feel like
Mm.
it's just a reminder for us na parang we need to be, participating in the democratic process to elect the people we want to be,
Mhm.
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
in the government.
Yep.
Mhm. Wait lang,
With
pero I'm not sure if fact check lang. I'm not sure if Brother Eddie was elected though. Was he?
Oh,
I think he's deputy out.
Mm. So
okay.
appointed siya.
What do you mean? Na he's in Congress through a party list?
Oo.
Mm, well,
But
regardless, right? Parang,
tama.
Yeah, because then the
parang
party list would
regardless.
have
Yeah,
would have
he's
Yeah,
been,
gotten the vote.
he's, yeah,
yeah.
he's been
That's
given. legitimacy via the mandate of the people, kumbaga. So,
Yeah.
on top of the power of democracy, I guess, yun din yung power of representation, right? Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
in 2016, where the SOGIE Bill was still ADB or Anti-Discrimination, it
Yeah.
was it was drafted by my icon, Senator Risa Hontiveros, in the
Yeah.
Senate, and it also coincided with the election of our very first trans legislator,
Yeah.
Representative Geraldine Roman. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I fully agree with yung we really have to participate because you know every vote counts as the U.S. election um,
Yeah.
demonstrated as
True.
well. Diba?
Yeah.
Super.
Sobrang, yeah, sobrang slim margins made a world of difference.
Yeah, like can you imagine just a few hundred or thousand people
Mm,
lang yung hindi nag-vote,
mm,
'di ba?
yeah.
Yeah.
Ang
Anyway,
laki.
so what do we do now with Brother Eddie
Yeah,
and all
yun na nga.
this
Yeah.
information?
Yeah.
Like,
With Brother Ed specifically.
yeah,
Um,
specifically.
yun, actually, that's the next
Pero I
question.
like
Like,
I like yung point ni Clinton na parang oo nga eh, this kind of rhetoric that you know continues, parang it's actually harmful eh. Diba? It's
It
harmful
is.
for
oh,
a lot of
naman.
people, especially a lot of young LGBTQ people. You
Mhm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Parang, parang the vulnerabilities of that specific sector, young and
Mhm.
queer, parang
Mhm.
when you layer that on top of each other, kumbaga, parang that's exactly why we need the bill. It's
Right?
not for, diba? It's not for what the people against it are saying na we're
Super
going
elite.
to be afforded. We're, I
Yeah.
mean, ready na yung party ko for my Elite Four debut. Pero I don't think, it's being part of an elite group
Saka
that
sobra
we're
na nga yung
actually
super
looking for.
special elite class.
Parang, totoo ba? Also, it also kind of, doesn't it also kind of reflect the the position of non-queer people? Parang,
Hmm.
we don't have as
Yeah.
much right as they do.
Yeah.
So, doesn't it
It's just
follow na
like
sila yung nasa super special elite group now? And
yeah,
we're just going to level the playing field with a sushi bill.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like all lives matter
Mm,
conversation,
Exactly.
argument,
mm,
Exactly.
diba?
mm,
Na parang, oh, what about us white people? Oh,
mm,
Yeah.
you're,
mm,
diba? Na parang protecting the rights of black people, these African American people. So parang what about us? Diba? Na
yeah.
parang for someone to say that, LGBTQ plus people are super elite,
Mhm.
it's
But
ridiculous.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's one of the like isa sa talaga sa very big mark ng SOGIE Bill. Isa sa mga sobrang big things na nami-misunderstand ng mga tao kasi when they think of SOGIE, they just think of the LGBT. Like
Mm,
they don't think na pag SOGIE includes the heterosexual community, 'di ba? Heterogendered
yeah.
people.
Mm.
Yeah.
There was
I
one. There was
no, sige,
one.
Tego.
Sorry. There was one question during a hearing in Congress, as in this will go in like the archives of the legislative branch. My
Mhm.
question na, what about something like, what about straight people? Do they have an identity? Tapos parang
Alright. Right.
nakakaloka. I mean,
Sinend mo yan yung screenshot, di ba?
oh girl, kasi hindi ko talaga kinaya. I mean, bless your heart. But the answer is yes.
Sobrang funny talaga. Sobrang funny.
Mm.
Na
Oh,
parang,
I have a,
what about the straight? what do they have an identity? Parang, girl, meron ba? Ikaw, sabihin mo sa akin, meron nga ba?
What do you think? What do you think is the category that street falls under? Right? Parang it's it's so weird to me na there's just so much confusion surrounding the bill when the framework is clear or medyo ano ba yun? Medyo tone deaf ba yun on my part to assume na it's clear. It's clear to me. It should be clear for everyone.
I think because hindi lang talaga aware yung lahat. Sige, sabihin
Yeah.
natin, like SOGIE, it means sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. So guys, tayong
Mm,
lahat may SOGIE. Straight
yeah.
ka, o yun yung sexual orientation mo, so part ka doon. Baka isipin kasi ng karamihan na SOGIE is like another acronym for LGBT, parang ganun. Baka yun lang yung iniisip.
Mm,
I think it's
yeah.
really misinformation. Tapos driven na by yung backed up na ng mga hate or like religious
Special
beliefs.
interest.
Yes.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
Mm.
so like
yeah.
sana intindihin muna natin. I really hope no we can understand because Soji, it's for everyone.
Mm, mm.
Diba?
Oh, which brings me to my next question. What do you think about um parang people saying na there's there's the states would benefit also from the SOGIE bill. Parang what do you think about that? Because
You have thoughts.
um, I do. I do.
Tanya,
And
wanna go first?
okay, sige. Kayo muna.
Go kayo muna.
Sige, fine. I'll go first.
Go
Um,
there.
it's it's not even ano yung parang I feel like that kind of messaging comes from us din naman, from our community, from the people who are trying to push the bill din naman, diba? Na parang you see a lot of um this kind of messaging na parang uh like for example, oh it benefits you, um or yung kind of messaging like it's not same-sex union na parang as if there's something
Mm.
wrong with same-sex unions or
Yeah.
same-sex marriages, 'di ba? Na parang
Mm.
so it kind of implies that the SOGI
There's still
bill
immorality.
relies, sorry.
Ay, sorry. Akala ko immorality yung... sorry, go lang.
No, so ang sinasabi ko parang it implies that the SOGI bill actually relies on the straights. It relies on
Diba?
straight people to pass.
Yeah.
And that also implies that, you know, our rights, which is, you know, um, laid out by the SOGI bill, for example, or part of our rights are laid out in the SOGI bill,
Yeah.
you know, are conditional. It means
Mm.
that we have to gain approval from straight people first
We have to.
before
Mm,
we
mm,
have our rights. And what that teaches us is, you know,
Heteronormative pa din.
exactly.
Mm.
It's so heteronormative that we have to conform to heteronormative standards. That we
Mhm.
have
mm,
to, kumbaga, please and appease straight people just so we would be treated somewhat the same way. And I'm saying
Yeah.
somewhat the same
mm.
way because let's face it, even if we have this bill, we won't
Yeah.
still be treated the same way. Eh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm,
true.
mm-hmm.
That's
So
They're
true.
it's
just
like
going to
this,
be they're just going to be fined for it, which they
Yeah.
don't
yeah.
But
wanna.
but I'm snapping all my fingers now because super tama.
I'm
Super tama
I'm
yon.
nodding vigorously.
Diba? Like there's
Yeah.
Like
this
yeah.
conditionality of like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
oh no, hindi ka naman maaapektuhan nito eh. Hindi ka malulugi or hindi ka matatalo even if you're straight. Like we all benefit for this. Like first of all, my rights, my right to be treated with respect and with
Yeah.
dignity should
Mm-hmm.
benefit you as a straight person. Parang may mali, 'di ba? Na
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
parang
Mm-hmm.
why
Mm-hmm.
why do I have to argue with you as a straight person
Mhm.
that you should treat me with dignity and respect?
Yeah. Yun nga
Mm-mm.
yung sinabi ni Dominic Jackson, diba?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Parang
I don't have
you don't
to
have the power to tolerate or accept me. I take that from
yeah,
you. I really don't
take
that.
that to me.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mother
Yeah,
elector.
Yeah.
'di ba? So parang medyo slight issue ko lang with all these discussions
Yung
going
With
on
the
marketing
about,
niya.
messaging.
yeah, with the messaging na parang we have to, you know,
Empower
appease.
ourselves. Na
Yeah,
we
we
don't
should, but
have to
like
ask for
the
their
fact
validation.
that yeah, exactly. That's what we should do. Pero what's happening right now is that we are asking for straight people's validation
I
to
think it's
have our
because
rights.
I think it's because majority pa din ng mga seated in power ay hetero people, like, and hetero boomers to be specific.
Yeah,
So
That,
I
it
think kaya ganun yung atake niya is because even if iba yung even if what we do is no, we demand that from you. Sila pa din kasi yung nagsasign. So maybe I
yeah,
just
that's
that's
true.
theory.
And that's
I'm
Kaya
the
really
very
reality.
kaya very important yung representation talaga.
Yeah. And I mean,
number
yun nga,
one.
parang
Yeah.
yung sinasabi mo na parang, ganun yung reality that we are
Mm.
facing right now. But at the
Which is
same time,
very, yeah,
no,
frustrating.
it is, but at the same time, when do we change that? 'Di ba?
Mm.
Kasi ang feeling ko yung the way inclusivity is going, the way, gender diversity is going, all we're going for is, oh sige, kayo muna yung magkakaroon ng rights, kayo muna yung magkakaroon ng
Mm.
like less discrimination, and then later on na yung iba.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the question is, why don't we start now? Like, when will we change this dynamic,
Mm.
diba? So in relation to yung SOGIE Bill, parang when will we change this conversation where we always have to, yun nga, appease straight people? When will
I
we,
think
Seek
when will we,
approval. No?
yeah.
Mm.
yeah,
I think one part of that, like through the course, I think na once kasi na we have a bill that protects our rights, then we can go further. But yeah, I get what you're saying na parang we're still trying to adjust kasi with the heteronormative. So basically, it's still a heteronormative world.
mhm,
But I think mahirap kasi to go forward directly nang hindi tayo protected by the law.
mhm.
Mm.
Parang I think that's just wala lang, parang yun lang yung naisip ko. And
Oh,
it's
totoo
so
naman eh.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I get na it's so frustrating though kasi parang parang hindi ko ma-put into words pero I get it.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page naman, per usual. But yeah, I also agree. Parang when can we stop being, alam mo yun, pragmatic with our messaging and just ask for basically compassion, right? And empathy. Parang why must there be some sort of benefit
Yeah.
for them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kasi kung iisipin mo yung SOGIE Bill, it's very basic. As in, sobrang basic human rights na lang yung
Okay.
hinihingi doon. Sobrang bare
Yes.
minimum na lang yun, ba't di pa pwedeng ibigay yon?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
no. But
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I get na I get the frustration also. I think one thing that we can do kasi like let's face it, parang medyo mabagal or like medyo matagal-tagal yung usad natin sa pagtanggap
Sa lahat. Mhm.
ng
Mhm.
oo. sa pag-crush ng patriarchy or sa pag ano ng heteronormative view. So I think one thing that we can really do talaga is to empower the community. Like kasi if you see tweets ng No to SOGIE Bill, there are actually people from the LGBT community who support
A lot.
the No
A
to
lot.
SOGIE Bill.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, which
Which
is
is
so
so
sad kasi
disheartening. Mm.
baba ng tingin natin sa sarili natin na girl kahit yung bare minimum hindi mo deserve na
Mm-mm.
like
Mm-mm.
sobrang na-instill na sa mindset ng members of the community na yan lang yung pwede sa'yo, na pagtatawanan ka lang, na pang-comedy ka lang, na hindi ka pwede maging bida sa isang movie, na kung bida ka sa isang movie, kailangan parang lalaki ka pa din tingnan, na kapag nagdamit ka, okay lang maging bakla, basta mukha kang lalaki tingnan. Kapag nag-crossdress ka, pagtatawanan ka, na kapag nakapag-booking ka ng kano, pwede kang patayin. Okay lang din,
Mm.
ipapardon yung kano. Parang sobrang baba na ng tingin natin. Na sobrang baba na ng, I'm getting emotional, pero sobrang baba na ng
Mm.
treatment. Sobrang baba na ng, na I think ang pwedeng gawin talaga is to empower the members of the community mismo na parang, guys, bare minimum na nga lang
Fight
to.
for what you deserve. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
have to fight for
Mm-mm.
what we deserve. And we have to
Yeah.
know what we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Diba?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Parang yung basic lang na yung friend, if you have a friend, tapos let's say your friend is femme, tapos may jowa siya na kasi borta. Tapos kahit sobrang
Mm-mm.
minamaltreat na siya, okay lang kasi borta naman yung jowa niya. Like feeling niya yun na yung best na pwede niya. Parang, girl, hindi ganon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
'Di ba?
Mm-hmm.
But
Parang I
that's
think
also like a manifestation of heteronormativity, diba? Na parang it's a form
Mm-mm.
of survival for some people to, yun nga, conform to heteronormative standards na parang,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
na, yun nga, like, dress borta pa rin, act mask pa rin.
So,
Kasi
yeah.
mm-mm.
it grants them a level of protection from
Mhm.
And
heteronormative
access.
standards.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Access
it's hard
to
to
the
fight kasi
system.
if konti lang. Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, no, it's okay. I'm just echoing because I
Pero
agree. I
yun,
agree.
like it's so hard kasi to fight kapag konti lang tayo nagfa-fight for it. And kasi let's face it, not everyone who is a member of the community, of the LGBT community, is an activist.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
So, kahit yung mga hindi nagpo-push naman for activism, I think if eh, we if they just know their rights or like what they deserve and ask for more. Like ask for what you deserve. Parang
Mm-mm.
ganun, 'di ba?
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, yeah, 'cause speaking of asking, parang it reminds me of a very like how they're talking about it now and how they're arguing the merits of the bill. It's on top of confusion. Parang inuunti-unti nila yung those against me. Parang inuunti-unti nila yung what they can take away from
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of progression of the bill. So parang yun, that's important na you have to be firm when you ask na no, this is
Yeah.
actually what I do
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
a citizen of the state. Diba?
Yeah.
Parang ganun. So, yun.
Yeah.
I guess that brings us
But it,
to parang just kind of wrap it all up because we're
yeah.
we're speaking in kumbaga medyo broad terms pa eh, parang uh, for sure we have to empower, for sure we have to ask for more, pero what do you think would be um where do we go from here? Where do we start? What are the
Yeah.
initial action steps that you could think about? Um,
Sorry, what was the question?
parang now
What do
that
we do
we've
next?
yeah, parang now
Ah,
that we've we're all on the same page na um, it's an education and empowerment issue.
Yeah.
Right now, parang what what do we do? Parang is it unified messaging? Is it medyo change of the current strategy and how we're campaigning for it and how we're lobbying for it in Congress? Or
Mm.
you
Oo nga, no? Like, how do we go forward? Ganon.
yeah, yeah. Because yun nga, parang it's also on top of being an education and empowering issue, it's also a unity issue. Because like Clinton said, parang um, there are members from our own community who are actually saying, basically, guys, we're asking for too much with the SOGIE Bill when we're not, right? So parang,
Yeah.
mm, baka, baka heavy, but, talk time. What do you think will be the best course of action? Because I really want to see, I really want to see the SOGIE Bill
Change.
legislated in this country in this lifetime because it's
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
overdue,
Sana
guys. Like,
maabutan natin,
Mm.
diba? Oh.
Mm.
mm, parang,
Pero I think like one of the things that actually you both have shared, ni-restory niyo, ni-repost nyo as IG story, and even
mm,
our account, the
mm,
FMFM, follow it guys, FMFM on IG. But yun, even the
mm,
FMFM has reposted it as an IG story din. Yung post ng ng facts over fake news ng SOGIE Equality Bill kasi sobrang
mm,
simplified no. Sobrang
Mm.
simplified nung sinabi niya na it is not a same-sex marriage bill, it protects LGBT persons from discrimination. As in yung ganun, sobrang simplified niya na if you don't like etong sa mga listeners, if you feel like hindi nyo kaya basahin yung buong bill, but before man lang kayo kumuda, basahin niyo yung mga infographics na tama na we
mm,
will
mm.
recommend it.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
isa din yun. Isa yun sa mga what we can do.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
Yeah.
what else
Yeah.
can we do?
I agree. So parang it really starts with education, of course. Na
mm,
parang teaching people about their rights and why rights are important. It's human rights awareness. Parang very very basic thing to advance any kind of advocacy. At the
Mhm.
mm,
same time, I think it it wouldn't be so bad for people to actually reach out to a lot of the NGOs, yung mga organizations that are
mm,
spreading information, spreading the right information, um,
mm.
and ask them like what can they do to help. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I'm sure, or I would assume that these organizations are also lobbying in the House of Representatives
Yeah.
for
Yes,
this bill.
for
Kasi
sure.
like
Mm,
yeah, I've done lobbying work na as in pumupunta talaga ako sa Senate and House of Representatives to push papers in front of people's desks to make sure that
Mhm.
they sign, this bill. So parang I
Mhm.
feel like the organizations now are also doing the same, or they might be doing the same. They might be talking to, representatives like Risa Hontiveros or um and so
Geraldine Roman.
on. Yeah,
Mhm.
Geraldine Roman.
mm,
So
mm,
I feel like people could ask those organizations and ask them like how can they help? How can they convince
mm.
their
Mhm.
Yeah.
legislators um,
Yeah.
Mm,
to to support this bill,
Yeah.
diba?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very, very, very AOC and squad, like,
Yeah.
um, mobilizing your community, right?
Yeah.
Organizing
Yeah,
the grassroots level, like really knocking on doors, whether
Mhm.
yeah,
literal or figurative, and just talking, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kasi I mean,
Mm,
I'm not so familiar with our process na parang can we really just call their office? Yung mga ganun, we don't know
Yeah.
eh.
yeah.
So
Or
maybe
yung
it would
text
be
mo man, te,
yeah,
baka naman.
meron ba silang mga hotline? Text na si Geraldine. Madam!
Baka naman.
Yeah, depende. Parang we don't know what the process is. So it would be good for us to reach out to those organizations who might know what the process is. Like, if we can name some, yung Metro Manila Pride Org,
Right,
um,
or, mm-mm.
yeah, and other related organizations. We could probably post those orgs in our
Pwede.
description, no? Sa YouTube
Mm-mm.
description, and also maybe sa ating social media accounts. But like,
Yeah.
Yes.
diba, I think that's a doable way
Good
for
start.
us to
Mm-mm.
take part,
Yeah.
diba?
Mm-hmm.
And
And it doesn't
also,
cost anything.
yeah. And also to like since I think we should be inspired with the change na ginawa ng America. So I think with us also na we are 2 years away or like a year plus away from elections sa 2022. I think right now pa lang gusto ko nang sabihin sa mga tao na i-instill na natin sa mindset natin na vote for people who can represent you, yung
Mm-mm.
viewpoints mo, yung sarili mo. Like alam mong like let's stop voting for like eto na lang kasi wala nang iba. Alam mo 'yun, parang ang
Mm-mm.
sad.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So vote for people who actually can represent
Care
you
about
because
me. Mm-mm.
yeah, because like when like ngayon, nakikita na natin ngayon dito sa SOGIE hearing, nakikita natin ang konti lang ng nagre-represent ng totoong hinaing ng LGBT people. Pero nung
Mm-mm.
elections, ang daming-daming nagpapalakas sa LGBT.
Ang daming nag-latch on to
Oo, ang
our
daming
language,
biglang oo, ang
to
daming
our
biglang,
culture.
"Oh, sige, I am with you," ganyan, ganyan. Tas ngayon sa hearing, nakikita na natin kung sino talaga yung
True colors.
nakikipaglaban
Mm-mm.
para sa karapatan natin. So I'm saying na right now pa lang, guys, vote for people who will actually represent you, who will actually fight
Mm-mm.
for your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi ang
And
bagal ng usad natin kung paulit-ulit lang tayo.
yeah, with
Yeah.
sa mga hindi naman like nagwo-work for us or like nag lumalaban for us. So
Yeah.
Mm.
that's true, that's true. And I also remember parang on on the voting scene, parang I also remember si Michelle Williams parang earlier this year I think parang she said during an award show to to vote for people who represent your interests. Like
Yeah.
ang ano, di ba, parang some people might see it as selfish or parang, again, baka may mga people would say, na, what about us? Ganyan. But, but that's the strategy. Parang,
Yeah.
parang push for people who push for you. Diba?
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Mhm. So, that was a lot. We unpacked a lot and may assignment tayo sa ating audience. We will be collating a list of NGOs that we could reach out to, volunteer with, or you know, um, work with in any capacity. Yep. So I guess that's it for this episode. Don't forget to follow us. We're on Twitter and Instagram, not on Facebook. It's at it's at FMFM.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Like,
See you soon.
subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.